So it's been a while, but I am finally back with another video, and in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to create smooth graphs. So let's get into it. Creating a new composition, I'm going to use a width of 1080 and a height of 1080, and I use a frame rate of 30 FPS. That's what I use for my 3D edits. And then you just want to choose a random picture. I'll just use some random picture I've got on my files. And you want to start by pre-composing and make sure you have it on these two settings right here. This just makes sure that if I show you,
like before, it like rotates the whole picture. Like, so if I scale it up to here, it will like rotate the whole picture. Whereas if I pre-composed it here, it would just rotate this little bit here. So that's why you pre-compose.
Once you've done that, you can make this layer 3D. You can also do this with cubes or with an element. It works for basically everything, but this is how you basically get the smooth graphs. So I'm going to rotate it for a start. I'm going to add a scale keyframe. I'm also going to add a position keyframe. And then you can press U on your keyboard twice to open up the keyframes. And then what you can do is you can move your blue line thingy across the timeline, and then you can rotate your picture. So I'm just going to do a smooth Y rotation. I'm just going to do it like something like this, and I'm also going to scale it out a little bit. And then what you want to do is highlight all those keyframes. You want to right click and go into keyframe assistant and easy ease. You can also press F9. And once you've done that, you get something like this, which does not look good right now. But now you can either use flow, which if you use flow, use this graph. But if you want to go into the graph editor, it's a bit more of a pain, but I'll just go on scale, and you basically just want to create a graph like something like this. Just to be quick, I'm just going to use this flow graph. So then you get something like this. You also want to make sure you have motion blur enabled. And for the motion blur, make sure you have these settings. So go into composition settings, go into advanced, make sure you have your shutter angle at 250. And then you'll get a really smooth motion blur like this.
What I also like to do is, to get it on beat, you want to extend out the keyframes, and you want to make it nice and smooth. So look, the further you bring out your keyframes, the smoother the graph will become. So something like this is really smooth. But if you want to hard edit, obviously you don't want to make it too smooth. So I'm just going to keep it something like this. I might make it a bit smooth.
Then what you can also do is, if you want to add another rotation, you can go into layer and you can create a new null layer. What you want to do is you want to make this null layer 3D, and you can add motion blur as well. You want to press this little whip, and you want to link the bottom layer to the null. And then what you want to do is you don't want to go right to the end of where the keyframes finish on the bottom layer. You want to go like, I don't know, somewhere around here, so it's like they flow into each other. So I'm going to highlight the keyframe rotation and position and scale again, and then I'm going to move my blue thing, go to here, and I'm going to do an X rotation. I'm going to scale it back to where it was, and then you want to easy ease and add the same graph again, and you can get something like this. I might just make this one a little bit closer, and also move it a little bit like that. And basically that is how you make smooth graphs. So for element, you want to create a new solid layer, and then you want to go into effects and presets and add the effect element, drag that onto your layer, and then I'm just going to create some random text because it's nice and easy. I will center that, and then for the text you want to go into custom layers, custom text mask, and select your layer, and then you can click the eye thing to make it disappear. So once you're in scene setup, you want to press extrude, make sure you have the text, and then you can go to presets and you can go into bevels, and I'm going to use one of my new bevel presets which you can now get in my store, payhip.com/AnthonyFootball. Make sure to go check that out, there'll be a link in bio. I'll use this one, it looks clean, and then I'm going to go to environment and I'm going to choose a environment that looks good. So I'll use this one, looks quite nice. Use this one because it's nice and simple. And then once you're back in here, you can go to World Transform. You can scale the text up, and you can create some keyframes for the world scale and rotation. And I'm gonna move this keyframe here. I'm gonna scale it back down to 0. Which I'll scale it to 1. And then I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. And then I'm going to easy the keyframes again and add the same graph. You can get something like that. And what you can also do with text, you can go to group 1, particle look, multi-object, enable multi-object, and you can go to the rotation and you can rotate the text like this. So I'm going to rotate it like this. I'm also going to add a scatter multi keyframe, and then I'm going to choose that back to 0 there. Easy use both of these keyframes and add the same graph. Make sure you have motion blur on this layer. I'm going to actually remove the scatter multi, but that is something you can do because the scatter multi does not look really nice. So, and I'm also going to rotate it a bit differently. Rotate it like this. And if your text is too close together, you can press the I on this text, press the I on the element layer, and you can double click on the text, and you can space the letters out by going to character, and you can use this little VA icon and you can space it out like that. And you can make that layer invisible again, make this layer invisible, and there you go, it's not so close together anymore. I think I made it a bit too far apart now, but there. So if you want to add another rotation to this, you will have to go into the create world transform null, and this will automatically create a null that's connected to the text. So you can keyframe the rotation and the scale, and for this I'm just gonna do another rotation and scale it back down. And then I'm going to easy use these keyframes. I'm going to add the same graph. Make sure the keyframes overlap. I'm going to make them space out so they're nice and smooth. And add motion blur to the layer, and there you go. That's how you get smooth text, or any or if you create a cube in Element or anything in Element really. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this tutorial. So if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more tutorials from me, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see my edits, go to LucaVFX on TikTok or LucaVFX on Instagram. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.